Aloha Kohala. It is 3:01 here on November 9th, 2022. You're listening to KNKRLP 96.1 FM Kohala. You've tuned in for Intuitive Talk Story. I am here. This is Eila Allgood with my co-host,
Michál Anna.
And we have somebody sitting in the studio today. Jules is here. Thank you for... we haven't had that before.
Now a guest in the studio, live and direct. It's exciting.
Yes.
We're glad you're here.
We did have somebody film us once, but that was actually
Ages
weird.
ago.
Yeah. Okay, so today's topic that we have going is false light paths and being centered.
Yeah,
So
big
we brought
topic.
that up at the end of our last show. I'm so glad you remember that because it feels like it might have been a year or two ago.
I bet.
that
You've
we
been
had
on
a show.
adventures. In fact, I haven't
Adventures.
seen you since you've been away and back.
Traveling,
Yeah,
yes,
so many things,
lots
I'm
lots
sure.
of experiences. But let's start by just talking about what does that mean to you, false light path?
Well, I suppose in order to know what's false, we have to know what's true. So then we have to agree on what's true on some level. So I'm going to go with, I'm coming from the point of view of all is one.
Yeah.
So if we come from a place of unity, of the field of unity that all is one, that's a truth. Because we have to have some sort of place to put anything against. So a false light path to me is anything that is not in alignment with that truth that all is one. That all is one thing in the simplest form. Okay, so there are many paths that lead us down paths of duality. That's a good place to start. So if all is one, and that's our truth meter, we can then ask questions about many different things, and maybe some things might pop into your mind. But often you see things that are leading us to a path of duality or a path of hierarchy. And that would be an example of a false light path. If we're choosing something in a hierarchical format, then we perceive there to be a level or a difference. No longer are we in the field of unity with the truth that all is one.
So can I give what comes to me for an example?
Exactly.
What came to me when I was thinking about this on my walk today was the concept of the mega church, where there is someone who becomes kind of all-powering. And it could be a guru too idea. It's this idea that somebody else is going to give me the answers, has the answers, and I put them up on a pedestal. And whether it's just me and that person or me and 200,000 people and that person, it's making it as if they have something I can't get. I have to go to them to get it.
That's right. So that's a great example. Direct connect.
Yeah.
We all have a direct connection to source energy.
I love when you come up with these little things like direct connect.
Oh, I got a poem for you today.
Oh, good.
We're going to save it for a little bit later after we talk a bit, because it's a little deep.
Okay.
So we want to prepare.
This isn't shallow, though.
No, but the poem's going to kind of bring it together here.
Okay.
In that the thing is, what you're talking about is when any person gives up sovereignty or power on any level, that I have to go to you to validate me. I've given a piece of my power away. I think I don't have that. So I've already left the field of unity.
Yeah.
Because it's all one.
Yes.
So I am that I am. That's another great phrase to put it into. And I kind of want to talk about I am that I am, because people, a young man and I, a friend of mine, had a really great conversation about this phrase. And he was coming from a real Christian perspective, and that that means that, are you God? I am that I am. Well, that doesn't seem right. That's like the devil. That's being selfish.
Yeah.
And so I want to kind of clarify that. So in essence, when we are on this path of love, we're in a path of surrender. We're peeling everything away to remember I am that I am, which is that the light that exists within I and I exists within you as well, exists within every single being. And when we get to that core of that light, it means in essence that I have surrendered. I surrender not my personal self, what the ego perceives to be the reality, the little I. The ego perceives something in essence, and that's what a lot of the meditations and things we talk about is surrendering that each chakra system to the infinite, to God, to source, right? So it's not of my will, but of divine will, not of my will, but of divine will through that system. So when we say I am that I am, it's not I, egoic Michál, is God.
Right.
It's that I surrender to the infinite source, to allow God to live here, that this vessel surrenders unto the infinite source to be a vessel and a temple of the living light, to be that which source energy runs through. And so in that way, I am that I am, and all is one, for I have direct connection as you have direct connection, as all beings have infinite opportunity to connect to direct source and allow that love, light, grace to flow through I and I.
That's a beautiful way to explain it. And I think it's really important for all of us to remember that we can access whatever we need. We can go to other people for guidance, and it always requires us to see if it resonates, though. You know, I went to somebody the other day because I have body parts that hurt. And as I sat with this person and she said some things, I started to cry because it was truth. I don't hold her up as any more knowing than me. She was telling me what I already knew, but she articulated it like right there very quickly. And I was like, that's it. Yes, I knew that, but now I really know that. Now it's really right up here in my awareness. And now I feel like I can do whatever I need to do to shift whatever I need to shift. So we utilize one another. We work with one another. We go to different types of people to help us with our life process. But we're not giving our power away to them. We're simply letting them do what they do and then deciding, hey, yeah, that resonates for me, or no, I don't know what this person is picking up on, but it's not me today. And you know what I mean? Because you're in this field of doing work with people all the time.
Yes. So we talked. So I'm going to reflect on something we've shared a lot about, which is reflections and mirrors. So everyone is our reflection. So we can't see sometimes ourselves without the reflection, which is what you just expressed.
Yeah.
It is you already. You already know it, but you saw the reflection in someone else, and then you could see it. She reflected it to you, and it made sense, and you believed it for some whatever reason. It doesn't really matter. It clicked. So we need reflection sometimes to play. We're playing out our movie. And our movie can only play out in our reflections. Maybe my world's only this small. The two of you are the only ones I see ever.
Yeah.
Then it's going to play out through one of you at some point, right?
Right.
Like whatever movie I got, at some point, Eila's going to make me mad and frustrated or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, because you're the only ones I have here.
Right.
So our movie's going to reflect our stuff. And it's also going to reflect morsels if we're willing to look. Everything is everywhere for us. And back to that, we're in a video game. This goes back to a foundation of that too. You're in a video game. It works like a virtual template. So you are picking up your pieces, you're grabbing power, you're claiming parts of yourself into wholeness. Back to that, because everything is one. We've been fragmented, and you're bringing it all into one. So you're on a little adventure on the video game of life, and you're picking everything up, and everything's reflecting to you. And if you use the mirrors, and they show you this in movies, the hall of mirrors, and oh my God, it's so scary, and you can't get out. But if you actually reach into the mirror, and you use the mirror, way out.
Yeah.
I can get out because I use the mirror, and I see, oh my God, that's me. Oh, I do that. Wow. Oh, I really don't want to do that anymore. That's not what I want to be. Where's that coming from? Ooh, that's when I was a little girl. Oh, God, that's when so-and-so said blah, blah.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgive them. I want to heal that. Let that go. Little girl, I love you. You're the best. I love you. You're amazing. Whatever, give her whatever you need. Zero that moment out. Use the mirror. Zero it out. That goes back to that process of picking up the pearls. It's all one thing. So everything we talk about is, well, one thing. And so you're going to use
it's all connected
systems to create wholeness in essence. So coming into wholeness, picking up your pieces.
Yes. Yes, and I've been reading this book. It's a channeled book. And for those of you listening, channeled means that some human allows another entity to come through them, and that wisdom and knowledge comes out through them. And this is supposed to be a star being. And to me, it doesn't really matter who it is. What matters is when I read it, does it resonate for me? Does it help me? Or is it not? And this one happens to be doing that. It's working for me. And one of the things that I was reading about is how we come to Earth to experience separation. Because when we're in spirit, we are all one. And we want to have that experience of separation only so that we can get back together. So it's like we come here to have this experience where I'm Eila and you're Michál. And then through our life and through instances and happenings and awareness and emotions, we start to realize that, well, that's Michál, yeah, but Michál is also me. That we are really connected. We are really all one.
Yeah, I like to think of that as a circle and as like an amazing adventure down through the river of the infinite. When we're all just at different places in this adventure. Maybe I'm like, I've been on that hike already. You're going to love the hike. Great. You know, go a few times, right? It's like that. We all have to go around this circle of life. This whole infinite circle. So we're all as souls at different places within that experience.
Right.
None of us are at the same place, and well, that's okay.
Yeah.
None of us need to be.
Yeah.
And some of us might be further at the end of that circle, or some of us might be closer to the beginning of that circle. We kind of have to experience the whole gamut.
Right, we're going for the whole circle,
have to
so
do the whole
there's no
thing.
beginning end, right? We're having all these experiences, and everyone is where they are, and there is no hierarchy.
Right, but what I mean by that is, let's say what you just said is we're coming to the field of the earth, right, to have this experience of density. So that's a circular path of spiraling upward, spiraling into the upward versions of yourself, embodying yourself as a soul.
I understand what you mean.
So that is a path that spirals, and you have to kind of experience the full gamut, which means to fall completely into separation at some point in yourself as a soul, like see that separation and then reclaim it. So it's like being torn away from the mother and father, right?
Right.
And then claiming it again, that I claim the Christic light within myself, that I am the seed of the infinite. I claim my own divinity of that being the child of the infinite, the Christic seed. In order to do that, we have to have already experienced being, it's like our initiation, right? It's initiation into density. It's, do you choose it? That's why it's the planet of free will, right? It's you have to choose love. You have the choice to experience whatever you want. So now we get into what is the essence of the truth is love. Now here's where you can really go, is it false or is it truth? Is it love or is it power? Is it love or is it power? That is huge. People say, you know, oh, I've seen her stop a storm. I see so-and-so do blah, blah. She's powerful, but she's mean.
But she's mean.
But she's mean.
Yeah.
But she's not nice. But there's you know, whatever. But she beats her child. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's power.
Right.
Power can come from a lot of sources. We're in a huge field of energy. So we go back to that 3D, 4D, 5D. We're in 3D, this stuff. Right. Then 4D, we're in all the time too. That's your state when you're sleeping. 4-dimensional framework is where everything's happening. It's going on all the time. You're just either aware of it or not. And that's the etherical realm, the dimensional realms where we're spiritual realms where there's energies and spirits and all sorts of things that people tap into. People call on things. That's another, what I perceive at this point to be a false light path. I kind of think everything's been hijacked to some degree. So in that framework, because everything's been hijacked to some degree, it's like we want to just go to source. So if we're calling on the dragon of so-and-so, I don't know, like that might, or some entity or something that's had, we're Pan, or, we're calling on things that are kind of in the astral. Like, have you ever watched a Kung Fu movie where there's kind of all these different spiritual, there's all these different entities and they kind of have full reign. Like, well, that's the guy of desire and he'll come around and get you, if you want, he'll give you something. You can make a deal with him. You can make a deal with the guy over there. He'll give you power. there's all these energies that are low level energies that will make deals with you and give you things. But it comes, like they tell you in the fairy tales, it comes at a price.
Cost, yeah.
Magic comes at a price.
Yeah.
I give you something, great, you're going to give me something. So now we're making a deal. That means now the fact that I've even made a deal means I don't know that I have a direct connection to source.
Right.
Because if I think I have to make a deal with you, I don't understand that I am, and I can go right here and just have everything I need.
Get what you need.
I am the money.
Yeah.
I don't need to get the money. I am the money. Let's withdraw from in here. Let's create the reality within ourselves. Let's ask for what we need here. Let's feel abundance here. Let's feel happiness here. That's what we're always talking about, is getting into the feeling of what you want, right?
Right. What's the feeling when you ask for
right?
something,
So,
rather than asking for the car? What is the car going to give you?
right. So when you
Ask for that.
concentrate on that feeling, you are now realizing that you are a divine co-creator, and that I am, and I have capacity and capability to reach into myself and feel into what I want and see and connect to direct source and love. If I am being malicious, or I am no longer in the field of love, it just, you drop right out. No dense energies.
Well,
can sit in
it goes
that field
back
of
to the
love.
vibrational
Correct.
frequencies that we've talked about.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In love, you're at a higher vibration than you are in fear or in greed or
Any
wanting
of
to
the
harm
lower,
somebody
jealousy,
or
or
jealousy. Yeah.
desire. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So as you're talking, I'm thinking about the whole concept of spirit guides and connecting with our spirit guides to help us through this or through that. And I don't know that there's an answer to that.
I would love to share an answer that I perceive.
Of course you do.
Well, I have direct connection to my spirit guides. And
Yeah.
I speak to them daily. I work with a number of guides. They're you. They're versions of yourself. They're multidimensional versions of yourself, because, well, I am that I am. So,
Right.
they're versions of yourself. And they're versions of, like, I've talked about a couple movies that people could go see that are kind of giving some cool visuals to help people understand. One of them was that Dr. Strangehold and the multidimensional universe,
Yeah.
or the whatever.
Yeah.
It's a
The
fun one.
multiverse.
Well, they show the multiverse. Yeah, they show this like of like. There's visions of herself in all different places, and there's one girl, the young girl, the main character. There's no versions of her anywhere. She's the only one, but she can travel through all of the versions physically. Nobody else can. They are only in their version. She went looking for herself in all the versions, and she's not there. But everyone else has it's like another version, a parallel version of themselves.
Right.
Okay, so this is really cool. I think this is like a really great example of how multidimensionally you're picking up all your pieces. Okay, so you're going and picking up the versions of yourself. So as you connect to, let's say you are having a traumatic experience in another lifetime. Let's say you're enslaved in a lifetime. Okay, there's a part of your energy still in that multidimensional version of yourself, experiencing that, because time is not linear. It's now. So you're experiencing that part of yourself right now when you feel oh God, oh no, that's actually you somewhere else having that interaction, because it's still energetically.
You mean the reaction that one might be having right now might have nothing to do with now, but something to do with some other time and place. Yeah.
Because you're only repeating a loop of that situation in some form. It's just because this is a virtual template reality of that. So anyway, you're reclaiming, you're zeroing it out. In that movie, she zeroes out herself as a really evil person. She actually sees herself as a whole, and she zeroes herself out. And there's another reality where she's actually loving mom, which is the reality she really wanted for herself.
Right.
So it's like that's zeroed, but that's her now. I mean, kind of what you could think of.
Right.
The young girl, she's, in essence, it's a representation of zeroing out all yourselves. We've talked about this before. You're going from, like here, you're picking up 12 pieces of yourself to become a soul. Then that's the fifth dimensional. That's moving upward into that fifth dimensional. Then you're picking up another 12 pieces to become an oversoul. Then you're picking up another 12 to become an avatar. then you're picking up another 12 to become a Rishi adept, which is kind of like this young girl is a representation in my mind of that. She can travel through all dimensional spaces and time. Right. In incarnated form,
in a body,
in a body, she can, whatever, because there's no longer any versions of thyself. We are all huge. I said this before, but the main problem we have on this planet is that it's full of divine co-creators who don't know it. We are all huge. You don't fit inside this thing. This is just like a bag, a suit. It's a thing. And so you don't fit inside of it. It's a costume. Yeah. We're all on the world stage. You're just in one more version of a theatrical experience. The biggest problem people have is they're so attached to their theatrical experience instead of realizing it's a theatrical experience.
Right.
It's part of playing out something that you're learning to understand as a soul. And you can choose whatever movie you want, and the movie then plays out. So we are the divine creators of our movies. So back to the spirit guides. You're picking up these 12 pieces, which are you, which are your guides.
Right.
So you're accessing different parts of yourself from perhaps different timelines. They may be versions of yourself. It's not that I have to zero everything out in that form. Like that's a version, like for instance, I experience one of my guides as a version of myself that has really intricate knowledge of hardware and different things like implants, and he's funny and hilarious, and it's his character, and it's a version of myself from some time period. There's not wound involved there, so I'm not zeroing it out. We're zeroing things because it's a part of my own energies, right? There's no the wound. It's
serving you,
right? Well,
obviously.
The wound part is what keeps our energy stuck somewhere. That's the parts we're zeroing out. It's the density. Once your density is released, it's not about that because, again, all is one. So it's about releasing the densities and blockages and resistances or implants, hardware, etc., that keep anything stuck in a dimensional framework. Does that make sense?
It does, actually. As you're talking about the whole spirit guide thing, it's something that I started looking into 35 years ago. And I had to know my spirit guides because they're somehow, they know something that I don't know. And I was seeking and looking and whatever. And in recent years, I haven't had that attachment to needing to know them. And then recently, I started to have like certain identities with them. And as you're talking about, well, that's just you. It's like, of course it's me. That's like it makes it just resonates for me that
it's you.
Yeah, and then I'm not giving my power to someone else when I'm calling on a particular guide. I'm not calling them because I don't know something. I'm calling them because I'm calling me. I'm calling a higher version of me that's not Eila in the body who can't get out of the paper bag right now. You know what I mean?
Right. And for instance, myself, I used to call on even Archangel Michael, which not to say anything negative about Archangel Michael as a persona or as the actual archetype. But I realized, gosh, I think that's being hijacked to somewhere else. Like, I think that's like going somewhere. It's like going to some, it's not, I don't need that. I don't need anything. I don't need anything.
Yeah,
I don't actually need anything. So, give thanks and praise, and that's great, love and light. But it's really the purity, like going to the purity of creation, purity of source. We are the essence of source. We are the foundation of source. So we're really, I've said this before, the tone, you can go to the pure sound, and Hawaiian language has a lot of the purity of the sound because the purity of tonation of sound is kara, yasata, ala. So even when we're saying, again, aloha, alo is to be with, and ha is the breath. To be with the breath of God. It's that simple. To be here in love. Be here now means to have all the fragments of thyself access to all, nothing blocking you from accessing the divine aspects of thyself. Not blocked by wound or despair, but in its fullness. Now I am that I am in full access to all that I am. And that's what we're here doing as we pull those pieces and we allow our vessel to vibrate at a higher frequency, which everything is sound. So we vibrate at a higher frequency, which then lifts us into the fifth dimensional framework. Now back to not everyone's in the same place in this river of experience. We are in a framework right here. Well, not every soul on this planet is ready to lift up into the fifth dimensional framework right now. That's okay. This ascension cycle is not about the people. It's about the earth. It's about the two-part, masculine, feminine earth.
Oh God, that's
Tara.
so what I am in right now.
And it's about
Yes.
it's about that, and those that have come or those that are ready to be part of that experience and are called to be part of that, are ready to be part of that, are you listening now? Here's your confirmation. Yes. That is what it's called. And all that's really called is to hold your love, to release the wounding, pick up your pieces, and vibrate in the field of unity, the field of love, direct connection, direct source. That's all that's required of any of us. Some of us are like, well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to join a couple committees. I'll go ahead and go on that mission too. I'll do that side mission. Yeah. All right. We're going to go get it. Oh, sure. No problem. But if you didn't sign up for a side mission, just all you got to do is hold your love. That's all. Where there's nothing more required of any of us. You know what I'm saying? And then we each have jobs and gifts and experiences. And we all, as we enter into our field of love, we are shown what your gift and what your job, more and more what your job is. Like, that's just my job. You're on my list. That's just what it is. And it's just straightforward. It's not even like anything. It's pretty straightforward because everything's actually quite technical. It's technical frequency, it's hardware, it's all sorts of things. But the essence is love.
Well, and the challenges that we encounter, don't you feel like they help us to get more clarity?
Well, absolutely. Well, that's, again, back to what you said. Everyone's here experiencing 3D.
Yeah.
Well, so that's what challenge is.
Yeah.
It's very 3D.
It's very 3D.
Yes, it is.
Right.
So you're experiencing challenges to see the reflection of your wound so you can pick up your piece, zero that out, and then release those kind of challenges, realizing, oh, I can create in grace and ease because I'm starting to understand that I'm a divine co-creator. And that I'm actually creating the challenges so that I can learn something about myself because I'm the creator of my movie.
Yes.
And there's nobody out there.
There's nobody out there. Let's take a station break where there is nobody out there. But hopefully somebody is out there listening. And
it's metaphorical.
We will be, we'll be right back in just a couple minutes.
The 2022 Kohala High School Holiday Craft and Gift Fairs is coming on Thanksgiving weekend. The fair begins at 9 a.m. on Friday and Saturday, November 25 and 26 in the Kohala High School cafeteria. This year's hosts are the Kohala High School Career, Technology, and Engineering Department, Future Farmers of America, and the Athletic Department. Save these dates. You can do your holiday shopping while enjoying entertainment and Ono grinds. If you're interested in being a vendor at the fair, you can pick up a vendor application at the Kohala High School main office window. Deadline for vendor application is November 11th. Remember, the Kohala High School Holiday Craft and Gift Fair is happening Friday and Saturday, November 25 and 26, beginning at 9 a.m. in the Kohala High School cafeteria. Happy holidays and mahalo.
Women's Voices on KNKR LP 96.1 FM Kohala with your host Eila Allgood every Monday and Wednesday from 4 to 6 p.m. Please tune in and hear some sensational songs and spoken words by female artists right here in Kohala and around the world. I've been doing this show for 7.5 years and it's still fun. You can also stream it on www.knkr.org or tune in to 96.1 FM.
the North Hawaii Public Library will be hosting a talk story about the ancient Hawaiian lunar calendar, Monday, November 28th from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. Come talk story. Explore the ancient Hawaiian lunar calendar and use journaling to learn about your Vahi Pana, or special celebrated place. The evening will be presented by Tumunale Aloha, hula consult and teacher of Hawaiian language and culture. That's Monday, November 28th from 5:30 to 6:30 at the North Hawaii Public Library. Mahalo.
Aloha Kohala, welcome back. It is 3:32 on November 9th, 2022. You're listening to KNKRLP 96.1 FM Kohala, Intuitive Talk Story. Our topic today is false light paths and being centered with Eila Allgood and
Michál Anna.
And where would you like to go next, my dear? You are rolling today.
Ooh, well, this is such a big topic, and yeah, I've had many conversations around this topic with many clients and many folks. So we were just all talking in here. Jules, our special guest today, it was just saying some fun things, and it just sparked some great reflections around attachment labels, taking on things, and some of how that plays into false light. So there's been, that whole to identify with anything. Well, I'm a nurse. I should do this.
Yeah.
I'm a practitioner. Well, I really should do this. Well, we put a should on ourselves on some form, or where we have been, well, I'm a good person. And so then I might overextend or martyr myself or give too much because, well, I'm a caregiver.
That's what I do.
Person.
Yeah.
Or I'm just, many of us think of ourselves as a good person, a good Christian, a good Catholic, a good Protestant, a good
whatever.
Buddhist, whatever.
Yeah.
And, we help people. We want to be helpful. So boundaries are actually part of being helpful. Because
big time.
I'm not actually helping you if I'm enabling you, right? So if I learn how to have boundaries from myself, and I resonate boundaries and I resonate my truth, then I then give you the opportunity to have that reflection that you actually need to have from the experience. If, let's say, you're having an issue with that, you get to then reflect and get to choose and then own your power,
right?
Or see that and then do something with it. But if I'm just placating and just, well, I just do it because, then I've not helped you or myself. Now I've helped neither of us in actuality. So you're not actually being helpful and a good Protestant, Christian, Buddhist to overextend, over-martyr, go when you feel you don't want to.
When you don't have the energy, you don't feel like doing it.
You don't feel like.
Right.
So it's kind of like, back to, you have direct connection, checking in with yourself. Can I help? Can I really help this person? Or can I be helpful? Or do I have the energy? Or do I have the resource? Whatever it is you're needing. And is it a yes in my being? Do I feel spirit? Am I supposed to go? Again, we check in with spirit. It's everything's direct connect. If I think I have to know something, I'm back out of unity because what do I know? I'm just little Michál.
Yeah.
God, I don't know. What do I do? Check in. It's direct connect.
Just ask.
Just ask. Is this in my highest good? Can I be helpful here? Yes. If it's a yes, I do it. If it's a, I don't know, it's not a yes.
Yeah.
If it's not a yes, it's a no. It's kind of simple.
Yeah.
Feel into it, ask, right? Direct connect. So if we're doing that, then we're not using our mind to think, well, I'm really supposed to do this and I should do this, and thinking about it. And most of the Western world is thinking all the time about everything.
Yep.
They're thinking it. They're not tapping into feeling, into their heart, into connection to source. They're thinking. So when we come into source feeling and we get into our body, back to that be here now, famous words. What is that? It means I'm here inhabiting this vessel, fully listening, and I'm able to connect to source and get the answers I need. If I am in confusion or frustration or some other lower, denser energy, this gets back to previous shows. I'm plugged into something. I'm experiencing a program. I have something on me. I'm corded. There is something going on, which means I am not experiencing the natural state of my divine God beingness connected to Rex source.
And, you know, the word, we use the word intuitive for our show for a reason. Somebody's calling. You
Oh,
talk.
great. So while this person's calling, I would like to reflect on the New Age false light paths. So in the New Age false light path situation, one thing I'd like to say about that is it told everyone to be butterflies and unicorns and rainbows, and it didn't really tell you that you got to go through hell to get to the butterflies. You have to tread through the darkness and the dark night of your soul. You have to go dig deep. You have to die within the self many times to the ego. It's the ego death, ego death, ego death. And it's intense. So that part, if they told you it was going to be ugly, you wouldn't feel bad about yourselves when you felt bad. You'd know, well, that's going to happen. It's going to feel bad and I'm going to meet it. Instead, you think, God, something's wrong with me. I should be feeling good. Love and rainbows, love and rainbows, love and rainbows. But nothing's wrong with you. There's some moments that suck. There's some moments that are really intense. It's been horrible. It's been horrific. It's really been so bad. And that's actually what it is to forgive everything that's been so bad, to forgive all of it, like the depth of every single thing, the worst thing ever that's ever happened to you or anyone. It's the separation, it's the Satan, it's the Lucifer, it's the demon, whatever you call it. It's loving it and saying nothing that has happened here is too bad that you cannot come home, because all is one.
All is one. All right. Can you put your headphones on, because we have a caller from Colorado who seems to know you.
Hi.
Hello, caller. Are you there?
I am here.
Okay.
Hola, Michál.
And
Michál.
who's calling?
It's Armida from Colorado.
Oh, hola, Bella.
Hola, Bella Bella. ¿Qué tal?
Well, you have a question for us today, beautiful.
Yeah, so I was just having this conversation with a coworker, exactly what you're talking about, and then I realized you're on air, so I thought I'd call in and explore this thing about I want to be a good person as a position of lack.
Yes, yes, yes.
Say that again. I'm sorry. We want to be.
She said wanting to be a good person from a position of lack.
Oh, yes.
So, and that kind of gets into exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's the boundaries.
Armida is
Yes.
this false programming
Yes.
that in order to be a good person, it's coming more from I'm not enough. And that's a program. So if we're coming from a program, it's coming to satiate. It's not just a giving well, right? If I need something from the situation, then it's
not giving.
It's
It's
not
really
it.
you're stepping into it because you need something.
now it's back
Yeah.
to that, right?
Maybe to feel good about yourself, right?
Yes, for instance.
Yeah.
So there's another aspect, which is if I can make that person feel better, then with the noise that's happening in my body, the physical experience I'm having will go away. Like if I can fix them, I can fix the feeling that I have inside of me because I'm sensitive to that person's energy or their vibration or what have you.
Yeah. So you mean like you're picking up on somebody else's energy, and because they need some, say, a boost, you feel like if you help them, you're helping you.
Yeah.
Yes. So, being that you are empathic and that you have empathic qualities, that's more about energy management and about cutting cords and not letting your aura be so big, because you're actually probably experiencing pain or experiencing the wounding of others when you're in experience. Does that sound resonant?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so when that's happening, you're wanting to bring in, that's where meditation and using those energy tools really comes into play, because it's learning how to manage your gifts. So we all have gifts and we've just never been told how to use them. You've been told about all this external information, but pretty much everything you've been told is a lie. So everything is about re-education, and the first education is, what is this thing I'm in? What is this and how does it work? And so it's a light vessel, and it works by you understanding how to manage its energy and how to keep other energies from plugging into your energy and keep this vessel protected and connected to source and nothing else. So that gets into doing the meditation and energy tools, which of course I know you know about. And at the same time, that also this feeling of need to want to satiate the self, it's because that can kind of get into really more of the wounding, really, of the, that it makes me enough. So that's coming from your I'm not enough program of like, I'm not enough. And if I do this, then I'll be enough. And so we are doing, when we do something, that's a subtle one. And I have had that myself, that one play out, and that play out of like, well, if I just do this, then I've proved myself, I've made it. But we have to let go and go, I'm enough here and now. So good mantras for that are really inputting I am enough and asking your inner child, Armida, where is that? Where is that I am not enough sitting? Go explore that in that unity field of meditative work. Where am I still holding on to I am not enough? Where is that the root of that? And we can always find a root within this lifetime. It may be connected to obviously, as I was expressing earlier, a different lifetime, a different time period. But we can clear it from whatever root we have here, because we have access to all that. In essence, it becomes uncovered as we do the work. You see more. So I am enough. I am worthy. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to do anything to be whole. I don't have to do anything to be loved. I'm loved right here, right now, just as I am. And saying that, and breathing that, feeling it. Feel it into your spirit right now. I am enough. I'm worthy.
Yeah. So without that kind of redirection of thought forms, it's sort of like a barril sin fondo, which is like a barrel without a bottom. So it's like, I'll never be able to do enough to make myself worthy until I change my thought form.
That's right. It's like a dangling carrot. It's the dangling carrot. You want to be enough, Armida? Come on. You want to be enough? Come on. Let's go. You never get the carrot. You never catch the carrot. So we go, forget the carrot, and it's with everything here. Everything, this whole thing. I don't need your riches. I don't need your things. I don't need your money. I don't need your stuff. We got our own riches. We got our own gold. We got our own infinite wisdom, power, because things are being siphoned. Things are being taken from us in so many different ways that we won't explore right here. But there are infinite ways that we can reclaim our sovereignty, our identity within the self, and that is that we are disconnecting from that which is taking power from thy vessel. As you know, I am that I am. So all of this is great. What you just brought in is how you're disabling programming to claim the fragmented pieces so that you can then have full authority over your vessel to manage your energy, that when you then see or feel someone's wound, you may like, oh, I give them to God. I disconnect everything, and may they have everything they need right here and now. I just see them whole and happy. I see them with everything they need. For I am that I am, and then I am enough, and I'm worthy, and there's nothing I need to do other than listen right now to direct source energy and receive what is called of me. And if all that's called of me is to listen, and just go, that's enough. That's it. I don't get anything else.
Well, and listening is extremely important. Sometimes we just need to be heard without anyone trying to fix anything, but just to be heard and to be witnessed. And that can be extremely powerful. And it's a lot easier than trying to figure out how I'm going to fix this person. And it takes their power away too, because then we're not empowering them to gather the answers and the solutions that they're very capable of getting.
Back to being in your own truth. In essence, back to being in your own truth. In essence, you are bringing yourself into your own truth, owning your own power, and listening may be all that's required in that moment. If you're connecting to source energy, you don't have to know. Back to that, you don't have to know anything. You're just being present and feeling. And then maybe I feel a call, well, I know somebody that could help you. But then maybe that happens. Or, oh, so-and-so. That's like spirit coming in and giving you the answer.
That's when you're in the flow. Yeah.
Correct. So you're feeling into that energy. Yeah. So that was kind of a 3-part situation there. Claiming your own energy, right? I'm enough, I'm good enough, I'm worthy, seeing where your part is, what program is playing, talking with your inner child and finding that. Then that other piece of giving them to God, connecting them to source and letting them go. And then listening, connecting to direct source and asking and just listening and then allowing whatever needs to come forward, come forward. Yeah?
Excelente, mi comandante. That is awesome. It's beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank
Mwah.
you for calling.
Thank you for calling.
Yes.
Amiga, que bueno.
Pleasure.
Aloha.
Te amo, ciao.
Besos.
Besos, besos.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Sweet.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So that is a dear sister of mine in Colorado. And thank you for that beautiful question. That was wonderful and really powerful because we're all working through wounds. So for me, I've worked through a lot of wounds, which is why I can talk about this stuff. It's because I've worked through a lot of wounds. I've been to hell a lot of times. And actually now I go to hell for others. So, you know, it's an exciting game we're in. I have to say that. And just the real truth is that we are love. And that goes back to no one gave us the keys. They gave us pieces everywhere. The kind of everything is a false light path in essence because nothing's in wholeness. Every text has pieces missing. Every format has been somewhat inverted. Everything has some little glitch in it. The truth is there, which I like to call the golden thread. The golden thread runs through all things and all places. But yet there is... It's like we have to find it, kind of like everything in your life. The radio comes on, the movie, everything's your movie. There's some little piece, little tidbit in there that's some truth. You're deciphering and
right, and it's like
it.
Sometimes you'll hear a song on the radio and it triggers something, and you're like, oh, that was just the song I needed to hear right then. And yeah,
your movie.
Yeah, part of the movie. And I want to bring up the cord cutting again because that's really I've been doing that a lot. And
yes, it's crucial.
I just find it incredibly powerful to do that. And it takes moments. This isn't a 20-minute process for me. It's just simply saying, I need to cut some cords today.
It's as simple as right now. Let's all do it. Let's just all do it. Cut cords. Everybody take a deep breath, inhale and exhale, and you can swipe your hands down your body and just cut. I cut all cords with all sentient beings. And connect them all to the God of their heart and connect the God of mine. Boom.
Yeah.
I am love. I am sovereign. I am free. Claim it right now.
Yep. I am love. I am sovereign. I am free.
Woo!
Hallelujah.
So cord cutting is like basic tool, foundational tools. Like we have to do that as foundation.
And it doesn't mean that you're not connected and that you're not loving people, whether it's your family or your friends or your partner, has nothing to do with that. I'm getting more clarity about. I always have to say that.
She's always worried about everyone.
No, I'm not worried about them. It's more our programs and
it's the programs
and conditions
of you wanting to overcare
that
and help and like that
no. It's not that. It's the program of in order to be a good fill in the blank mom, I have to have that cord to my child even when they're 50.
Right.
And
that
it's
thing. I have to be.
It's what a good mom does. It's what a good daughter does. What's a good brother, whatever. And to recognize that that's just programming, and so when I talk about these things, I'm convincing myself, as well as talking to other people who may be saying, yeah, but I can't disconnect from my grandmother. Yes, you can.
So here's the thing is it's not about caring for someone. This has nothing to do with caring for people. This has everything to do with like your energetic sovereignty. Many of you have your own room, right? In your house. You have a room maybe that's just you could go in and close the door, right?
Right.
So what if all of your family members and all your sisters and brothers were in that room? Every time you went in there, everybody was in there. Would that be like, that's not really right? So it's really more about claiming your energetic space that, Tom gets to have his own space because I trust that he's a divine creator and he has access to God.
Yeah.
And so it's actually me empowering Tom and empowering myself that I don't need to be attached to anything and Tom doesn't need to be attached to anything. Right. We can both be attached to infinite source, and then he's going to get all that he needs, and I'm going to get all that I need. And anytime anyone forgets that, well, I'm like, no, disconnect from me. People cord me all the time. Mm-hmm. I'm like, no, you're connected to God. Love you. Love you. Because we're all connected to the infinite source.
Yes.
Like, you don't need me. You need the source. I just reflected something to you, and then we didn't know or something, and that often happens. People cord one another unconsciously because maybe I felt so good when I hung out with Eila. I'm like, she's so great, and I just cord her. That's kind of thing. That's unconscious.
It's an unconscious thing,
right? Because people are all trying to get to God. Everyone wants to get to the happy feeling.
Right. So if you look like you're closer to God than I am right now, maybe I cord you.
It cords, instead, and then I go, oh no, Eila, direct source, there you go, love you. And see, hook you up to direct source. And then you get to connect into God of your heart. Right. We get to help each other by reflecting unity.
Yeah.
Like, I am you, you are me, we all are powerful. So there it is, kind of thing. Back to that sitting at the table, the true field of fifth dimensional means we all get to the round table and say, we're all amazing, we're all powerful, and we all just have different gifts. And it's time put in. So this explains for people out there, but I'm a master at carpentry. Yeah, time put in. You've been doing that a long time, time put in. Whoever at the table is the most time put in, it's your job. You got the most time put in, you get to do that task.
Yeah.
Whoever's got the time put in, we honor one another's time put in. We honor that, we've been studying, or whoever's been like I've been studying this stuff since I was young. I've been doing this, I've been working on this path diligently for a long time. Gleaning these things. I didn't just happen one day.
Right.
Time put in. Things happen over time put in. We dig, you become
They're
a
practices.
brain surgeon because you went to put time put in. So that kind of also helps people maybe I can't help everyone if there's a really messed up situation in your neighborhood and or something's happening and someone's in trauma. They're like, well, you need their help, or there's that, it's pulling on your heartstrings. Maybe I can give you the resources. I can send you to the right people, but it's kind of like asking me to do brain surgery, and I'm not a brain surgeon. I'm a tailor. I don't do trauma, right?
There's nothing I'm going to be able to do. Yeah.
I can make you a dish, so we can do what we can do, but we can't also do back to listen to source. If we're back to source, I might be guided to where the right person who can help, or guided to where what can be helpful for this situation.
Well, and that brings up the other part of this topic today, which was being centered. Because in order to have that connection to source, I find I need to be centered, which means I can't be thinking about 12 things at the same time. I can't be frazzled. I can't be crying and emotionally all over the place. For me, that's not being centered, and I'm not going to get really a whole lot of answers in that space. I need to get to that more quiet space for me.
Well, yes, that exudes be here now, right?
Yes.
So that's what meditation is about, is getting into your center, being here now, getting into the place you're grounded, connected to source, released of all your cords, all connectors, drawing in your own energy, protecting that energy, and realizing I am here now. That's where we go to pick up our pieces. And the more pieces you pick up from all the trail of wound, the more whole you start to feel. And then it feels complete wholeness when you feel like you're no longer picking up pieces of wound, right? And then we're just resonating that light. And again, it's a video game, and it is rather interesting. So I do have a poem.
Oh, yes, you do.
That I want to share that will kind of I feel like talk a little bit about what I'm trying to say in maybe another way.
Yes,
it's going to become
what poetry does.
With music and with my sweetheart and with his band, his band. I get to play, sing in. Anyway, so let's see how you guys feel about this.
Go ahead.
Okay, the movie is happening within your own mind. It's up to you to decipher, connect the dots, and unwind. The game is tricky. Lots of mirrors we don't want to see. Remember, I am you and you are me. Let the colors and shapes soak in thine eyes. Release thy troubles, release thy disguise. See beyond the negative voices that swirl in your head. They talk a good talk, but they want you dead. Dig deep, dig deep, dig deep. Find your inner child and thy hand. Choose to seek to understand. Embrace all that brings pain. Rewrite the story, only love remains. The game is tricky, lots of mirrors we don't want to see. Remember, I am you and you are me. Yeah, we gotta forgive if we truly want to live. Yeah, we gotta forgive if we truly want to live. We gotta embrace instead of pull away. It's up to us to choose a new day. If not us, then who? Time to follow through. I and I create I reality. Let go of the insanity. The time is nigh, time to go high. Nothing left but I and I. Detours will be put in your way. Don't let the roadblocks lead you astray. Follow the line, allow the divine to guide you through the maze built for you. The course is tricky and often sticky, trying to keep you from moving on, but don't buy that dancing song. Keep on walking, let him keep talking. Only you hold the key. I am you and you are me. Use the mirrors, face the fears. Don't buy the lie, look inside. Heal the wound, release the pain. I am that I am, only love remains. Break the tape, bust the loop. We are the sacred hoop. It is but one thing, and here we are, a dream within a dream. And so I set my temple right. I claim my brilliant light. Nothing can rattle me or move me from neutrality. I create my own reality. Nothing has power over me. I am love. I am free.
That's really beautiful. Thank you. I look forward to seeing what that wants to be when it keeps going with some music and rhythm.
Well, if you want to see that live, perhaps it might be a surprise for anyone listening, because this won't probably be out on video before then. If you're listening and you live in Kona, we'll be we'll be playing at Gertrude's this Friday.
Oh, wow.
7 to 10. It may happen. We never know.
Yeah. Well, that's really.
It'll become something.
Did that come to you all at once, or was that?
It was a couple pieces. One was a mountain drive. You know, I just.
Oh, the mountain road,
You
boy.
talk about channeling. Well, I don't know if I could call it channeling. I'm not really channeling an entity. I like a direct source.
Yeah.
To me, it's like what the David said. You know, Michelangelo said about the David. He said, "I just set him free." Yeah. I don't know. I just set him free. He was in there. And I just set him free. Yeah. Like I'm just getting this is just what came to me. You know, it's just what came. Like as I was like, you know, sitting.
That's that wonderful creative flow. When you're in the flow, things
just
come.
Writing like that. All my songs and pose like the ones you love. You know, they're like that.
Yeah.
The ones you're like, oh yeah, that was given.
Yeah, that's loaded. That's something that would be great to see written, and also something to.
You could reread it. Yeah, you could replay it if you do the replay, because honestly, there's a lot of morsels in there. It's pretty much the whole story.
Well, yes, it will be on. Actually, it will be on our podcast. This will be made into a podcast for Apple, Spotify, and Google under Intuitive Talk Story, KNKR. And we're coming to the end of our lovely time together. That was a really beautiful way to end.
Yes, and if you do need some meditation tools, or if you haven't checked out my channel, you can check that out on YouTube, Michál Anna, Michal space ANNA.
And I just want to say that anytime I type in Michál Anna, it goes to Michael. So for those of you who type it in, just make sure you get the spelling Michal. It'll autocorrect, and it's wrong.
That's what's always happened. Attendance my whole life. Michael Carello.
Exactly. So we will be back in a couple weeks, and we'll see what's alive at that point in time. And until then,
remember what Frank Zappa said. We're all wearing costumes. Which one are you wearing?
Beautiful. Aloha, everyone.
Aloha.